Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Nick Cosgrove and I am back with my coaching reality series called From a Coach's Perspective. Today I want to talk about why people stop going to the gym. In my 20 plus years of working with the general population and in my 25 plus years of training in gyms, both commercial and private, I've seen a lot of people come and go. All right. I've seen some people come back. I've seen people take prolonged periods of time from the gym off, and then they come back and they go hard for 3 months or 4 months, and they're gone for 3 months, 4 months. And I see people come back from injuries. I see people start and stop and start and stop, and it's a repetitive cycle. And the one thing I will tell you is the people who not only get results but are able to sustain those results are the people that are consistent and the people that do not leave. When you leave the gym, as in you take, oh, I'm going to take a week off, I'm going to take 2 weeks off, I'm going to take a month off, I'm going to take a year off, you start to lose progress. It might not be physically right away. I tell clients this all the time. You go away for 1 or 2 weeks on vacation, you're not going to really lose any muscle. You're not really going to gain any fat. But if that 2 weeks turns into 2 months, into 2 years, yeah, you're going to lose all that hard work. And it's really hard to start from zero all over again. But the thing is that so many people struggle with the consistency factor. And I get that. And I talk about consistency all the time. You get all these fitness gurus on here on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, and they're trying to promote their supplements, they're trying to promote their training services. And the one thing is they're always trying to reinvent the wheel. And what I try to do is keep it very simple, very basic. The number one thing, the number one thing that is more important than motivation and inspiration, consistency. You have to find a way to stay consistent. If you're not consistent, you won't be successful, period. All right. So I want to go through the 5 reasons as to why people stop going to the gym. And maybe if you're one of these people who stop going to the gym, I can help troubleshoot and get you back into the gym. Whether it's training with a trainer, whether it's training on your own, whether it's training with a friend in a group class, whatever it may be, whatever it is to help you get past that plateau, to get yourself back into the gym again. Because we all know starting from zero, it's a struggle. It's an uphill battle. But it's just like anything. I always tell a lot of people, I'm like, you go to the gym, those first 5, 10 minutes, I'll be honest, those first 5, 10 minutes when I'm doing a workout, it takes me a bit to get going. Okay. I'm not fully in it mentally yet. But once I get about 3 or 4 sets under my belt, I'm good. I'm zoned in. Other people take a little bit longer, and that's okay. But you have to get yourself to the gym, and that's the struggle for a lot of people. It's just getting themselves to the gym. Once they're in the gym, they're okay. But that whole process of, oh, I got to drive to the gym, I got to walk to the gym, I got to schedule an appointment with my trainer, or I got to schedule in a block in my day to get a 45-minute workout in. That is a struggle for a lot of people. All right. So hopefully with today's episode, I can help troubleshoot some of these issues that people have. And if you yourself have stopped going to the gym, I'm hoping that by putting this episode out today, we're going to get you back into the gym. All right. So let's start off with reason number one. They stop seeing results. When you first start lifting weights and you start to learn how to execute exercises correctly, you know how to perform proper tempo, speed, you understand the concentric phase, the eccentric phase of an exercise, and you're putting together a well-structured training program. You're going to see results quite quickly, especially if you're someone who's never been to the gym. And all of a sudden, after maybe 2 months of training, you're like, wow, I've got bigger arms, or you know what, my waist is 2 inches thinner, or all of a sudden I've got more definition in my quadriceps and my hamstrings and my glutes. And the reason for that is because you're brand new, you're fresh, your receptors are fresh. But the longer you continue to train, as in months, years, decades, it gets harder and harder to see changes with your physique. It does, trust me. I mean, I've been doing this for 25 years. I'm not making substantial gains in my physique at this point. And if I was to make substantial gains, I'd have to most likely go on an anabolic steroid cycle, which I'm not willing to do. So I'm happy with my physique. I'm happy with my progress. I don't want to say that I'm maintaining, but I'm able to sustain a lifestyle that I like. I'm able to maintain a workout regimen that I can actually do with no problem, and I enjoy it. Okay. And obviously, I like the results. So the thing is with a lot of people, though, is that once they stop seeing the results, they start getting a little bit demotivated. It's not as motivating to go to the gym when you're not really seeing change in your physique. I get it. It's not as fun to go to the gym when you're not throwing around the same weights that you were throwing around when you first started. Maybe you were increasing your weights every week, but all of a sudden now you've hit a plateau and you can't keep increasing your weights. All right. So this is very common. So the one thing I tell clients is constantly set new goals, and don't make your goals all about aesthetics and performance. All right, so it has to go beyond that. Your goals can't constantly be to have a six pack and have big arms and have pecs and have glutes and hamstrings, striations, all this stuff, because you're going to hit walls, you're going to hit plateaus, you're going to hit obstacles, and it's going to become very frustrating. All right, and I can tell you from working with competitors who have these great physiques themselves, even they get a little bit frustrated after a while because once they've hit that top level, they go, where do I go from here? Right? Because once I achieve that six pack, where do I go? So that's why I tell people it has to go beyond performance and it has to go beyond aesthetics. And you have to have your why as to why you're going to the gym. And I always tell people, think about the mental benefits that you get from working out, how productive you feel after a workout, your mood, right? We all know that working out and exercise increases serotonin in the brain. So the feel good hormones. So it puts you in a better mood. It makes you more productive throughout the day. It allows you to actually sleep better, recover better, and in some people's cases, even eat better. Because who wants to go eat McDonald's after they've had a hard workout? No, you've just done something good for your body, so you want to feed it with good nutrients. So the two kind of translate with each other, right? So if you're following a good workout program, eventually you're most likely going to follow a fairly good diet too, because you're like, well, I'm getting great results in the gym. I need to fuel that with a good diet. So people tend to eat better. So working out improves your lifestyle. It enhances your lifestyle. So you have to find another why as to why you're going to the gym. And if it's just about aesthetics, and I've always said, if vanity gets you into the gym, great, but you have to have another goal. You have to find your why. So if that's your reason for leaving the gym is because you're no longer seeing results, you're no longer seeing changes, you need to find another reason as to why you're going to be in the gym because you're not always going to see results. You're not always going to see changes. Those first early months in the gym or even the first year or two, yeah, you will see changes, especially if you're consistent, but it gets harder and harder. It's the same thing I tell my clients who have very low body fat and they struggle to lose more body fat. I say, yeah, because the leaner you get, the harder it gets to lose body fat. It doesn't get easier, it gets harder. You have less body fat to lose. Okay. That last show that I just did about a month ago, I mean, my body fat was probably at about 6%. For me to get down to 3%, it was a struggle. But if I was sitting around 18% to get down to 12%, that wouldn't be that hard at all. Right. So you have to remember that the more fit you are, the harder it becomes. All right. So find another way to get yourself to the gym. And, that's going to keep you consistent with your training because when you are not seeing results, when your performance is not improving in the gym, you're just like, yeah, you know what? But this is helping me be more productive in my day. It's putting me in a better mood for my relationships, right? It's making me think more clearly. It's going to make me sleep easier. So overall, the workouts are enhancing my lifestyle. All right. Reason number two, they were never following a real plan to begin with. Now, this one is super common. There are a lot of times I see people who go into the gym, they wander around aimlessly, they pick random exercises to do. Their workouts make no sense. It's like reading a book that doesn't have a beginning, middle, and end. You're mixing it all up. The end's at the beginning's in the middle's at the end. It's all over the place. Your workout has to make sense. Your training plan has to make sense. You have to follow a program that is going to build muscle, lose fat, and prevent injury. So if you're just wandering into the gym, oh, maybe I'll do some bench press and maybe I'll do some squats and maybe I want to do some dumbbell curls. Yeah, it's a weekend coming up. I want my arms to look pumped. And like you're asking for injury and you're not going to get results because you're not training with a plan. You're not going in there with a plan. All right. So that's why I always use that analogy. You want to build your body like you're building a business. You wouldn't build a business. Well, I hope you wouldn't build a business without a business plan. So you need to have a training plan in place. And that's where it comes to working with a personal trainer or an online coach that can help structure a program for you. So, okay, this is the game plan. We're going to go and we're going to follow this. Any professional sports team has a game plan. They don't just go into the game and hope they're going to win. They have a plan, right? So you have to be strategic. You have to have a game plan. If you do not have that game plan in place, you're going to wander around. It's like a boat wandering around aimlessly in the water. You have no direction. All right. You have no point to where you need to go. So you need to focus on, okay, what do I want to achieve here? Am I training chest today? Great. I'm going to do a chest workout. Am I training back today? Great. I'm going to do a back workout. Maybe I'm going to do a chest and back workout. Perfect. But you're going in there with a game plan. It's not, well, I'll just feel how I feel. No, don't go by how you feel. Go by what's going to get you from point A to point B. So always have a game plan. Always put a structured program together. If you do not have this, I'm telling you, you're setting yourself from failure up for failure from the very beginning. All right. Reason number three, life takes priority and fitness isn't structured into that. So this one, another common one. You see a lot of this happen at times with people who get too busy, either with their career, either with their family. I mean, I have clients, especially a lot of my clients who are now in their early 30s, are starting to have kids, and it's a struggle, right? I mean, now you've got a kid or maybe two kids to look after. You got to take them to daycare. You have to deal with maybe, maybe they're sick. You have to take them to the doctor. You have to take them to after school programs if they're a little bit older. Things become a little more challenging now, right? It's no longer just about you and your partner. It's like now you've got one or two kids to look after. So that could be more problematic, right? But again, you have to plan for this. So a lot of my clients, what they do is they hire help, right? So they'll have a nanny or they'll have a night nurse. They'll have if it's someone in place to assist them. And that's important too, because if you have people that can help you in your corner, maybe it's your parents, you can drop your kids off with your mom or dad for an hour or two while you go to the gym. You have to fit this into your program because if anything, you're setting an example for your kids. Okay. And I've always said this to a lot of my clients who have kids. I'm like, your kids watch everything you do. So if you're sitting at home eating a bag of cookies while watching TV, they're going to copy that. But if they see, wow, mom and dad go to the gym, they find time to go to the gym, work out, take care of their body, meal prep, it's going to translate to them. They're going to pick up those habits as well, right? They're going to know, okay, that's what I have to do. So you're leading by example. And let's say you don't have kids. Let's say you have a really busy career. God, I have some people who I have a few clients on my roster who are lawyers. Lawyers are really busy, especially some of my lawyers who are criminal defense lawyers. They're very busy, especially when they're in trial. But they understand the importance of getting those workouts in. So if they're in trial from, let's say, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. all day long, they will still find time in that day, whether it's 5 a.m. in the morning or whether it's 8 p.m. at night, to fit in that workout because they understand the benefits of the workout. There's no, well, the workout takes a back seat today. No, because they understand that, again, this goes back to that first reason, the workout enhances their life. It makes them more productive. It makes them think more clearly. It also is going to relax them a little bit because if you have a very high, stressful job, lawyer's perfect example, doctor, surgeon, whatever it is, you need something that's going to allow you to bring those cortisol levels down. There's nothing better than bringing the cortisol levels down than working out. Exercise, that's good for the body. Our body craves exercise, craves movement. So you need to find a time to structure that in. And I talked about this on the Q&A a few weeks ago on my No Filter Q&A that I release every Monday about making sure that you fit your workout into the day as if it's a meeting, as if it's a special event with your kids or your loved ones, whoever it may be. But you have to make sure that you structure that workout into your day. No excuses. All right. Because that workout is offering you so much benefits to your life. All right. So you have to make sure that you find a block in your day, somewhere in your day where like you can put that in. I don't know a single person. I've yet to meet anyone who's working 24 hours a day. Haven't met that yet. Okay. So if you are working 24 hours a day and you honestly can't fit that workout in, well, I mean, I don't have a reason for you to go to the gym, I guess, but I've yet to meet anyone like that. Okay. So there's time. You have to find the time. You have to make the time. You have to make your exercise sessions a priority. Even if that means it's half an hour. Half an hour is better than nothing. As long as you're not on your phone. As long as you're not talking to your gym neighbor, you're focused, you're zoned in on your workout. All right. So turn that workout into a priority, and life will get hectic. Your career is going to get hectic. It's going to get hectic with your personal life, kids, whatever it may be, your parents, whatever. But you need to make sure that you structure that workout in. And again, make it a non-negotiable. I talked about this on the coaching reality episode last week. Turn your workout into a non-negotiable. Okay. So whatever time of day you're booking that workout in, nothing comes in. Okay. If you have to move that time slot to another time slot, play a little Tetris, do it. But nothing comes into that workout time slot. Nothing else. All right. Reason number 4. They rely on motivation instead of discipline. When I launched my website last month, I talked about this over and over again. You cannot rely on motivation and inspiration. You cannot rely on YouTube videos. Okay. You can't even rely on my videos where I'm putting up posts of me training because that might inspire you and motivate you to go to the gym and lift weights and, be disciplined with your diet. And that's great. And I'm glad if my videos do inspire people to do that. That's fantastic. But that alone is not enough. You need to find that discipline in yourself because there's going to be times where you're tired of watching YouTube videos. There's going to be times where you want to sleep in. There's going to be times where I'm not yelling in your ear, get your ass to the gym. Okay. So you need to find that self-discipline and you need to create that. And that's a habit that's hard to create. And I always talk about it takes 21 days to develop a habit. And I truly believe that. I mean, I didn't invent that saying, but that's a saying that I follow to a T. Because I know for a lot of people I work with, I notice if they're consistent for 3 weeks, I've got them. Okay, I don't mean I've got them as a client, I've got them changing their habits. If they can follow a clean diet for 3 weeks, I know I've got them in that habit now. They've got that in that routine. Okay, so even if they start to stray away a little bit from the diet or stray, maybe miss 1 or 2 sessions, that habit's in them. They're going to feel bad. Oh shit, I missed a workout. I need to get this in. Oh shit, I skipped a meal or I had a cheat meal where I shouldn't have had a cheat meal. So they know it registers in their brain that no, no, this is a habit. It's a good habit that I need to continue. So that's important. So you want to make sure you're developing good habits and you want to make sure that you're practicing discipline. And to build up that discipline, again, that takes time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. So if you're someone who goes to the club on Friday night and you've got an 8 a.m. workout, not a good idea. All right. You're not going to want to show up to a workout hungover and sleep deprived. So you want to program accordingly. You can still go to the club, but maybe program your workout into maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So you've had some time to sleep, hydrate, have a few meals, nurse your hangover, and then go to the gym. All right. So you want to make sure that you're turning those bad habits slowly into good habits. And the best way to do that is by practicing discipline. All right. And that does take time. So don't think it's going to happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. And I always tell people this, like when I'm working with someone on their meal plan, someone who's brand new to meal prep, they've never done meal prep in their life. Their version of meal prep is ordering Uber Eats. So I'm like, no, you need a food scale. Well, first question, where do I get a food scale from? Well, these days you can just get one on Amazon, right? But a food scale is so foreign to these people. They've never used a food scale before. They've never used a measuring cup before. They've never practiced proper portion control. So I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm like, if the food scale right now is too overwhelming for you, don't even worry about that. All I want you to do is eat the foods that are on your plan right now. Don't even worry about portion control. We'll get to portion control later on. So I start setting smaller goals for them to achieve. Great. This week, you kept your diet clean. You had maybe 2 cheat meals. No problem. You missed one workout. Okay. Next week, let's bring it down to 1 cheat meal. Let's not miss any workouts. They do that. Great. All right. Now, this week, what I want you to do is try measuring out half your meals for the day. So if I have 6 meals on your plan, I want you to portion out 3 of those meals. Don't worry about the other three if they're not portioned correctly. Okay. Don't even worry if you miss a meal. Slowly, though, that turns into 4 meals, 5 meals, 6 meals that are all portioned out. But you have to start with smaller goals, and that creates that discipline. All right. So go by that theory. I swear by that theory 21 days to develop a habit. I'm not talking about a drug habit here. I'm talking about good habits. Turning bad habits into good habits is one of the hardest things that people have challenges with. Trust me, I work with lots of people who have challenges with this. But once they get going and once that ball is rolling, it's all downhill. It's smooth. But the first part is getting up the hill. Okay. Once you're up on that hill, smooth sailing. All right. Reason number five, they're doing too much too soon and their expectations are unrealistic. So a lot of people start fresh. You see this all the time in the new year, right? You see the New Year's resolutioners, they're coming into the gym, they're motivated, they want to go hard, they want to lift heavy, they got a somewhat of a plan, I guess. Their plan is just to get big, or their plan is to get ripped, or their plan is to get skinny or shredded, whatever the kids are using these days as their terminologies. But they have a plan that they want to look a certain way. Or they want to feel a certain way. And maybe they even have a training program in place. Maybe they are working with a coach. Maybe they are have a structured program in place. But their expectations are unrealistic and they're doing too much too soon. So what I mean by that is you see some guy come in the gym, he's at 25% body fat. January 1st. He, in his mind, thinks, hey, if I do this for 4 weeks, I'm going to bring that 25% down to, 12%, 10%. I'm going to have ripped abs. No. You will get some change for sure, especially if you're consistent. If you're doing cardio and you're eating cleanly and you're starting to weight train correctly, yeah, you're going to see some change in your physique, but it's going to take time. And the problem is if you try to fast track that by spending 2 hours in the gym and doing 2 hours of cardio a day, you're going to burn out your adrenal glands. You are going to overtrain. And you know what? You're not going to get results because what's going to happen once your adrenal glands shut down and you get adrenal fatigue and you're burnt out and you're overtrained, you're not going to want to go to the gym. Hell, who wants to go to the gym if they're in there 4 hours a day for 30 days straight? I know I wouldn't. So you have to make sure that you're working smarter and not harder. And I've always believed in that from God, probably from the time I was about 20, because when I was in my teenage years, I grossly overtrained. I did. I thought, hey, if I train for 2.5, 3 hours in the gym, I'm going to get great results. I didn't get any results because I was constantly overtraining. My body never got time to recover. I never fed my body properly. So you want to make sure that you're working smarter and not harder. And I tell you this because I don't want you to waste time. I don't want you to waste your time like I wasted my time when I was a teenager, spending 3 hours in the gym, spending money on ridiculous supplements that you don't need. All right. So that's why I'm putting out videos like this to educate people and to fast track your results by working smarter and not harder. Okay. So when you're doing too much too soon, I use that analogy. It's be like if you're going to a gunfight and you're shooting all your ammunition up in the air within the first minute. Now you have no more ammunition. If you can start losing 2 pounds, let's say your goal is to lose weight, and you're losing 2 pounds a week by just doing 20 to 30 minutes of fasted cardio in the morning with a 45-minute weight training session in the afternoon, you're doing that 4 times a week. Why would you try to increase that? That's great. Keep going. Now, if you hit a plateau and you're like, you know what? Now I'm not losing 2 pounds a week. Now I'm not even losing 1 pound a week. Okay, maybe I can increase my cardio. Let's bring it up to 45 minutes a day. Maybe I can start decreasing my carbs, or maybe I can add another resistance training session. So you're still holding in some ammunition. Okay. And that's important. So don't do too much too soon in order to fast track your results. That's going to backfire in your face. I've seen it time and time again, and it doesn't work. All right. So go with that concept of working smarter and not harder. Manage your expectations, set realistic goals. I talk about this all the time, setting smart goals, specific, measurable, attainable, and realistic and timely goals. Okay. By doing that with a structured program in place, you are going to fast track your results and you're going to, most importantly, you're going to remain consistent in the gym. All right. So you're not going to give up. So those are my 5 reasons as to why, in my opinion, most people stop going to the gym. All right. And I've seen it before. I've even seen it with people who have trainers. And sometimes with people who have trainers, it's not as common because people know that I have, like, for example, I have a lot of people that are on my roster that they'll tell you they will not go to the gym on themselves by themselves. They won't. They know that. So they have me for the accountability factor. Okay. And plus they can get a great workout in and they don't have to wait for equipment. They're at a private training facility. Yes, there are perks to having a personal trainer if you're working with a trainer private setting. Okay. But the main thing for these people who've been with me for 20 plus years is the accountability factor because they know they won't do it on their own. And so if you know that yourself, that you are that person, set aside some money, make sure that you can budget to have a coach in your corner. Even if you're working with that coach once or twice a week, and then that coach is giving you a program that you can follow on your own, like a lot of my online program clients, that'll hold you accountable as well. And then you won't slip up because you're kind of want to let my coach down, right? So, if you have someone in your corner who's really has your best interests at heart, that's going to make a world of difference for you. So if you are someone who struggles to go to the gym and you feel that you do need that accountability, and if you don't have someone like, say, a lot of people say, well, I have my friend, I'll train with my friend. Well, that's great. But if your friend is not holding you accountable, that's not going to work. Right. So having a coach in your corner can make a huge difference. So if you are someone who lacks that motivation on your own to go and lacks that discipline, you might want to work with a coach for at least a few months until you can get into that routine, build up those good habits, build up that discipline, and then maybe go off on your own. Or maybe don't. Maybe like a lot of my clients, stay with your coach, right? Find a way to budget for it. I talked about before, a lot of most successful people have personal trainers for that reason because they see the benefits of having a good coach and trainer in their corner that can help in other areas of their life. All right. So it translates to other areas in their life where they can be successful. So that's, in my opinion, the 5 reasons as to why people stop going to the gym. And again, if you yourself have found that, I really stopped and then I don't know what I can do to get back. I'm just lacking that motivation. If you keep telling yourself, I'll go back next week, next month, you got to go back today. You have to. It's only going to get harder. The longer you take off, the harder it's going to be to get back. All right. I can promise you that. So if you're having that difficulty getting back into the gym, hire a coach, hire a trainer that can help push you, get you back with a structured program in place, a nutritional plan, so you're not wasting your time and you're going to start to see and feel results. And you're going to keep setting other goals beyond aesthetics and performance so you're able to stay consistent with your training and follow a sustainable program for life. Anyway, that's it for this week's coaching reality episode. This episode will be going up on Wednesday, May the 6th. As a reminder, if you have any questions related to your nutritional plan, workout program, supplements you're currently taking, not taking, or considering taking, please feel free to email me at nick@foreverfitperformance.com, or you can DM me your questions on my Instagram at @fitcosgrove_. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for supporting my YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I truly do appreciate the support, feedback. Don't forget to check out my No Filter Q&A, drops every Monday, as well as my YouTube shorts that drop every day. Our website, foreverfitperformance.com. I'm releasing new blogs every Friday. So it's a new blog every Friday. I write the blogs, not chat GPT. Everything I do is organic. Okay. I don't believe in using that for when I'm writing authentic information, education for people. And I truly do appreciate all the support and feedback that I receive from each and every one of you. Anyway, thank you all again, and I will see you all next week. Bye for now.